Hey, that was a pretty cool intro there. Welcome, creatures of the night. It is Saturday night. We're taking a look at this thing right here, Electronic Gaming Monthly, the best video game magazine ever. Now, I had a Nintendo Power subscription when I was a kid, and I loved getting that in the mail every month, but EGM was the show. It was the big show, the WrestleMania, the Super Bowl, the Motor City Comic Con, if you will. And Quake. We got Quake here. Quake's got a crown next to his comments. I'm such a novice when it comes to all this streaming stuff, but hail to the king. Quake is apparently the king of the live chat so far. I guess the more you add comments on here, the more points you rack up. I don't know how it works. Maybe you win a no prize. How's this stream sounding so far? Is the music too loud, too quiet? Let me know. Am I distorted? Took a look at some settings in there and tried something different than last time, so hopefully the music isn't going to be messing up my audio as much. Who else we got in here? Foolish Habit, welcome there. Good evening. Thank you. I got that from, who was that? 925. 9TOFIVE. Just check the description down there of the video. Great intros there for live streams. Or being the first one. Yeah, that's quite the honor to be the first one in the live chat. Loud and clear. Thank you. This month goes by fast. Every month goes by fast. I also want to thank Carl Casey for the music set tonight. We've got listening to a little bit of synthwave, and my sound person, I got another sound person, sound engineer, let me know. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Love you. Big Easy, how you doing? You guys remember Electronic Gaming Monthly? Great thing about modern technology is so many of these old things that were things you had to hunt down and find. Literature, I mean, books and magazines. Now, if you're lucky, and as every year goes by, it's getting easier and easier to find these things. I found this on archive.org, so you can actually flip through a bunch of these. And I love the little animation here too. Look at that. You can flip the page. Yeah. The Wayback Machine. Time travel is possible. You just have to care enough. That's what I've been saying for years. Seen a few in the 2000s. 90s, baby. 90s were a great time too. As more time goes by, I'm getting more nostalgic for the 90s as well. It was a special time as well. And who knows, maybe one day we'll look back and look at the 2020s as a special nostalgic time. Everything seems to be going down the tubes. And the old saying is, now are the good old days. So if you think things are bad now, just remember, now are the good old days compared to 20 years from now. Audie! Yes! Finally got you on one of these live streams. It's a good brother from down under. The Aussies are watching on Sunday morning in the future. So here I am talking about the past, and Audie is joining us from the future. Glad you could finally join us for one of these, Audie. YouTube is a time machine too. That's why I dig it. It's a nice place to just celebrate, honor and celebrate some cherished past memories with some people that appreciate it. There's a lot of people who just jump on here for complaining and recreational abuse, and they're very easily dealt with, thankfully. 2010s is getting there too. There's some good movies from before basically 2017, 2016. And then after that, things start to smell funny. Yeah. Okay. Let's get to work here. Let's get to work having fun. Taking a look at EGM on the cover here. This is before they got their typical recognizable logo. So, free video game tip booklet. Nintendo say, man, this is 1989. This came out May 1989. This is the great old days of video game. Classic video gaming. So we had the NES, the Master System, the Genesis, and the Super Nintendo were cooking. They're cooking and smoking. Taking a look at some of the upcoming Nintendo games, Mega Man 2, and that cartridge art, box art of Mega Man that doesn't really look like he looked like in the game. G whiner, I've never heard that. Everybody whines, it's just the percentage is what's important. Don't ever... I try not to tip over the 25%, but at least don't tip over into 51% complaining. Let's take a look at the next page. Classic ads. It's great music. Loving the synthwave. Gauntlet, Pac-Man, RBI, and Tetris. I remember when these games came out, and I don't think they had the Nintendo seal of approval. We were, a lot of us really bought into that Nintendo seal of approval. It had to be official. If you've ever seen the hockey movie Goon, he makes a big deal about is it the team mascot? It's official. And these Tengen games, I always called it Tengen, didn't have the official seal of approval. Some of them were really good still, but it felt a little outlaw, a little naughty, playing the unofficial games. They weren't crap, that's for sure. It's not like they froze up on you 10 minutes in. Let's zoom in a little bit here. Can we zoom in? Nope. There we go. Isn't technology amazing? Gauntlet. And the weird thing about these not having the official seal on them is, like, that's Pac-Man. That's not just some unknown, weird... You know, Gauntlet was a huge thing in the arcade. Pac-Man was one of the all-time great arcade games. RBI Baseball, Tetris. Now Tetris is a huge thing. I think the Game Boy really helped Tetris rocket in popularity, but it's strange that these really well-known properties didn't have that official seal. Zoom out. Next page. John Elway. Man, I love these old ads. Let's see here. Trade West. They also did the Double Dragon game. Insert coin, shape of things to come. So this would have been the late 88 when this came out. Even though the cover says 89. Oh, no. Sorry. Yeah, it would have been 89. There's that Nintendo seal of approval I was just talking about. This seal is your assurance that Nintendo has evaluated and approved the quality of this product. Now, funny thing, if you've ever watched Angry Video Game Nerd, sorry, I don't want to get him sued. Angry Video Game Nerd, he's played quite a few stinkers that had this official seal of approval on it. So that seal doesn't always mean anything. There's some great ones here. WrestleMania, Rambo, Airwolf, Star Voyager. I'm not familiar with that one. Man, WrestleMania, let's take a closer look at that one. I remember that one. That was the first... Well, there was a wrestling game before that. It was just called Pro Wrestling on NES. But this was great because a couple seconds of the wrestler's theme would play while you're wrestling. Loved the Bam Bam Bigelow theme on that one. Rambo was a frustrating game. Star Voyager, not familiar with that one. I remember this one. I had this one. Wizards and Warriors. The Journey of Kuros continues. This was a great game, but very difficult. I don't know if I ever finished it, but Elrond. The Catacombs of Elrond. It's funny now that I'm more familiar with Lord of the Rings than I was in the 80s. You can see little bits of Lord of the Rings seeping into everything. Now when I listen to old Led Zeppelin songs, I hear a lot of Lord of the Rings references. But yeah, this was a great game, sort of forgotten at this point. Not sure what that one was. Acclaim. They made some stinkers, but they made some fun ones too. Tiger Heli. Winter Games. Go for the gold. Zoom out. This trackpad's very sensitive. Got a top 10 list going here. Top 10 games. Blaster Master. That was a fantastic game for being able to hop out of a vehicle, which was a rarity at the time. Usually you just ran around like in Mario, or you drove around like in any racing game. But Blaster Master lets you actually hop in and out of a vehicle. And there was actually 2 different graphics for the driver too, if I'm remembering correctly. There was a little tiny guy when you hop out of the tank. I think is it the same one? And then there was like a top-down view. It was a side-scrolling plus a top-down, and it went back and forth. Phantasy Star is one of the all-time great games. Great series that I think got a Genesis release too. 1943. I remember that one being very difficult. Super Mario Brothers 2. Love that one. The Dream World. Dungeons and Dragons was chastised. Yeah, at the time there were no YouTube videos to check out a review, so a lot of times we just bought things based on the box art. Later on you could rent them and try them, which was awesome, but in the early days of NES, Master System, and even before that, Atari, you could not try before you buy, really. Even if you had played the arcade version, that wasn't a guarantee that the home console version was going to be any good. Take Burger Time, for example. The arcade Burger Time is fantastic. The home version was not great. N64 was the Attitude Era. Mr. Quake is bringing the thunder in the live chat. Anyone else want to challenge him for the crown of the live chat? Nullzilla, welcome there. Name the top 10 NES games of all time in your opinion. Oh boy. That's... holy smokes. That's going to take more time than I got tonight, but off the top of my head, let's see. Metal Gear is on there for sure. Super Mario 2 is on there for sure. Super Mario 3. Let's throw the original Super Mario. I played that one endlessly. Fantastic game to include with the console. So I'm at 4 right now. Trying to think what else was on the NES. Well, Metroid definitely is on there, so that's 5. As hard as it was, Battletoads, that's one I still revisit on the NES. I'm at 6. Wow. It's actually easier than I thought it was going to be. I got 4 left. Smash Brothers. I never played that one. 4 left. This is tough now. Turtles 2. Turtles the arcade game. That one was a lot of fun. I got 3 left. So yeah, I'm a big fan of all the movie property games, but there weren't a lot of great movie property games. Oh, Micah's here. Hey, good to see you, Micah. Mega Man. Yeah, let's include one of those. There's a whole bunch of them. So 2 left. Oh boy. Trying to think of what. Oh, is it Link? Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link. That's like my favorite NES game ever. How could I forget that one? And Bill is here too. Hey, good to see you, Bill. Having a great weekend. Thank you. You too, Bill. God bless you and your family. Commodore 64. I bet you they're still running. Yeah, I'm missing a bunch of comments here. Sorry. Okay, I got 1 left, I think I said. What am I missing? I feel like I'm missing a big one. Commando was great. Yeah. Bionic Commando. That was another great one. You know, what I could do is, where's my emulator? I'm just going to open my emulator up here for a second. NES. Jeepers. Doesn't look like I have all my favorites. Loaded on there. But I'll say Snake's Revenge. Everyone hates it, or a lot of Metal Gear diehards hate it, but I loved Snake's Revenge. Metal Gear 2. Punch-Out was great too. Okay, you guys are throwing out all the good suggestions now. So, yeah, I'd have to put Punch-Out on that top 10 list, so I'd take one of the ones I listed out. Contra was great, but I don't know if I'd say it's... Well, if it's a 2-player, definitely. It's one of the best early 2-player games ever. Sorry I'm stuck on this boring top 10 list image. Just getting caught up on some comments here. Can you recommend a video game magazine that's currently in print? I cannot. I'm sorry. I haven't read any magazine in ages. I know EGM is still going, I think. Like, I've seen it at the grocery store in the magazine section, but I don't know what's in there anymore. Like, I don't know what they would be covering. So if anyone else in the chat can recommend a good video game magazine, throw it out there. Zelda, Mega Man, and Contra. I can't believe I forgot about Link, Zelda 2 for as long as I did. That's one of my favorite games of all time, not just NES. There were some great fan mods that if you ever wanted to play like the Zelda 3 that should have been, instead of going back to the top-down view that the NES did with Link to the Past, some fans have done some amazing like fan-made sequels to Link that play just like Link with a couple of upgrades. Thank you for your time, and my favorite video of yours is oh, thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun to do too. Those rubber guys were meant to be smashed around, and so I will gladly chip the paint off of my vintage LJN rubber guys to use them for what they were intended, and have a little smackdown in the old sling 'em fling 'em ring. Get all my video game content from YouTube. Let's see what else. Oh, no way. Final EGM was apparently in 2014? Really? Could have sworn I saw well, maybe it was like an anniversary, like a one-shot type of thing. I'm not sure. I thought I saw an EGM like a year or 2 ago. But they're always doing these like retro runs and stuff, nostalgia run. All right, let's get back to this list here. 1943, probably played that one for a few minutes. Rented it maybe, I don't remember it all that well. Super Mario 2 is fantastic. Double Dragon on the NES was okay, but the arcade one was so much better. It was sometimes a drag when you would play a game a lot at the arcade and then you get the home version and it's clearly like half of what you played in the arcade. So still nice to be able to play it at home, not have to pop quarters. But definite downgrades for some of the NES games. Super Nintendo was, and Genesis was closer to arcade graphics. Adventure Island, I remember that one. Great graphics in that one. Shanghai. Anybody remember Golgo 13? That was a spy game. I never played that one. But I remember when that came out, I thought this must be from something, like somewhere else in the world. Like, I betcha this is a thing, like a TV show or a book series in the UK or, you know, in the middle, like somewhere else in the world. Bracket Attack, I've never heard of that one. Looks like a tennis game. And then Dr. Chaos, which is better than Goonies 2. That's weird. That's interesting to see some of these top games that I've never heard about. Alright, let's zoom out. It's not going to let me zoom out here. Oh, there's a screenshot to Mega Man 2. Look at the graphics on that. I know today, like, folks today who were born after the year 2000 maybe look back at these old graphics and think, what's the big deal? But you gotta remember, like, we came from Atari. We came from 4 colors and sprites that were just blocks. And, like, this guy has eyes and a mouth and boots and gloves that are different colors. And yeah, these graphics were amazing at the time. We got over here Vindicators, another Tengen game that we just mentioned. We saw the unofficial Tengen games earlier. Not familiar with that one. Guerrilla War. Ooh, that looks interesting. And this is probably like a Rambo clone, but it kind of looks like Metal Gear 2 for the... What was it? It was a Japanese release of Metal Gear 2. The MSX or something like that. Got a little heli flying overhead. What is this game about? From SNK. Guide rebel commandos against evil dictator in this action-packed translation of the popular Coin Op. So it was an arcade game. Okay. I Carry Warriors, which was Rambo. I Carry Warriors was like a rip-off of Rambo, or did Rambo rip off I Carry Warriors? I'm not sure which one came first. These are cool little summaries of games coming out. Super Sprint. Hi there. Many people I know had the 2600. I had one too. My first console I remember playing was the 5200. Now that's the obscure one that was in the middle, because there was the 2600 and then there was the 7800, which was supposed to be so much better than the 2600, but it actually wasn't. And then the 5200 was in the middle there somewhere. I can't imagine the 5200 being like all that better than the 2600. Seems like a very, very small upgrade. Hey, Soldier Dude, good to see you. Good evening. It's one of the latest live streams I've ever done. Still love I Carry Warriors, one of my favorite arcades. My music is looping. Okay, now we're cooking. Strider. Who remembers Strider? Capcom. Capcom was one of the best game makers for the old systems. You could, a lot of the time, you could guarantee that the game was going to be pretty good just based on who made it. So I remember me and my friends, if we saw Konami, we knew it was a pretty safe bet. Capcom was another, because they did Bionic Commando, Mega Man. Love my 2600, still have it. I got mine too. I don't know if it works, but I kept my consoles. I don't know why. Like, when I was in my late teens, 20s, it was time to start clearing out all the old stuff, but I held on to those old consoles thinking, you never know. And I don't have anything to hook them up to anymore, but it's cool to still have the shell. I do have to bleach my NES, though, and my Super Nintendo. They've all yellowed. Strider's a classic. Take to arms and eliminate the evil creatures invading your land as the Strider. When I watched Lord of the Rings for the first time and they called Aragorn Strider, this is the game that came to mind. Strider. He was cool because that game was cool. Incredible graphics. I mean, just look at them. They're incredible. There's some actually really nice shading on those trees. And that, like, that's pretty good. Oh, keeps flipping on me. There we go. Yeah. For NES? For NES, this is exceptional. Like, this looks like Super Nintendo graphics. It's interesting. Very interesting. Use all your resources to defeat the enemies. Graphics makes Strider a sensational title. Coming in April of '89. I vaguely remember this one. Heidelide? Is that how it's pronounced? Heidelide? FCI. That's one of the obscure game makers. It was an RPG. There's so many great RPGs on Nintendo. You didn't necessarily need to have great graphics. Dragon Warrior was a great one. Final Fantasy was a literal game changer. Series is still going today. Oh, I could see that. Yeah, Astro Boy. My parents bought the 5200 when the price was lowered, only to find out less than a year later that it was discontinued. That must have really sucked. I believe the last game we got was Galaxian from Toys R Us in '87. That's funny, I just played Galaxian the other day. LE, The Final Metamorphosis. Hello there. Played the original Dragon Warrior and Final Fantasy. Great memories. Those games had so much playtime in them. Hours and hours. It felt like weeks or months to me. I guess it didn't take that long, but we were busy. We didn't have 12 hours at a time to play games. We had school and outside stuff to do. So games like this, it just felt like a great book. WrestleMania. That's funny. It's two separate words. It's supposed to be one. By Acclaim. There's the giant, the eighth wonder of the world, Andre. Why does it say Mike? I guess you could put in your own name. Andre kicking Hogan's butt. They got Hogan's tights the wrong color and boots supposed to be yellow. Oof. It's a pretty basic game, but there it is. It's the first WWF. Superstar Billy Graham used to call it the WWEFG, brother. So just cover all of the letters. That way you don't get in trouble. But yeah, that was the first home console WWF game. Walter Payton football. Sweetness, Walter Payton. Take the pigskin across the goal line with the man who has the most yardage in the NFL. That was really cool when these sports games would come out with an actual real-life player. You know, if you're a toy fan, to give you like a similar instance, it's like Sergeant Slaughter joining G.I. Joe. So having a video game was cool, but then having, you know, Walter Payton or John Elway or John Madden, having a real life sports guy, Joe Montana, just took it to another level. Coming in April. Lord of the Sword. Don't remember this one. This is what's fun about going through these old EGMs. There's the hits that everybody remembers and then the obscure ones. And I love me some obscure stuff. Just watch my Inhumanoids retrospective. I sometimes give more time and love to the obscure stuff than the big well-known stuff, because there's enough people given enough time for all that stuff. Battle against the creatures of the underworld with your trusty fire sword. Ooh. Reminds me of the fire sword from Game of Thrones. The scrolling action adventure. You know, I just had a thought. Maybe it's not remembered because it's not any good. That's usually the case for forgotten games. They just weren't any good. Plenty of secrets and loads of hacks and slash encounters with the nastiest characters you've ever seen. And the Sega... Oh, it's a Sega Master System game. Okay, so is this one. High graphics detail and outstanding sound effects. I'm remembering debates I had with friends about which system was better. So you got NES over here. Look at the graphics, but then look at the graphics on the Sega Master System. And it's so funny to think of all those debates, what system was better. Which boops and beeps were better. Hey Gunstar, good to see you. Thanks for joining. Some G.I. Joe and Transformers alumni. Oh yeah. Didn't have a Sega, was able to borrow my friend's Master System to play Miracle Warriors, but that was the extent. So that's Lord of the Sword. Look at the graphics on that. I like that they point out, hey, the graphics are great. Poseidon 3D Wars. Take command of a powerful nuclear sub. This reminds me of a submarine game I had on the Genesis. I can't remember what it was called, but there was an American sub and a Russian sub. And it was one of the first games to have speech, voice, and I always thought it was fun to get the thing to keep repeating the voice because it was so out of the ordinary. So one of the things that's still stored in my brain, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, maybe if there's any Russian people watching this, but one of the lines in that game when you're in the Russian sub was something to the effect of "Territolyun son misosvistvoi," something like that. And I must have heard that line said thousands of times playing that video game. "Territolyun son misosvistvoi." I have no idea what that means, but I memorized what the sounded like playing that video game. Let's zoom out here. Got some more advertisements. FCI games. I don't remember these being all that good. They did have the Nintendo seal of approval though. Ultima was a great game actually. I remember that one. They made a bunch of those. Dr. Chaos. Kind of looks like RC from Transformers. Lunar Pool. Xanac? Isn't that some kind of medication? Oh, don't call that number. Out of service now. Press start. Bishu joysticks? Huh. These were expensive. Any type of like extra peripheral. Joysticks, controllers, driving wheels. Oh, hi Stephanie. Nice to see you. Yeah, that's what I thought. Xanax. Xanac. Computer connection. Oh, it's we'll be releasing an IBM compatible. Computer games couldn't compare to the console stuff. I had a friend with a computer, and his, you know, like Space Quest 1, that stuff was funny. Monkey Island was funny, but like in terms of jumping, shooting, running, couldn't compare to Nintendo, Super Nintendo. Is there, are we before the Super Nintendo here? When did the Super Nintendo come out? I guess I can Google that. 1990. So we're before the Super Nintendo, and was the Genesis out yet? Genesis came out in August of '89, so just after this first issue. So we're looking at pre-Super Nintendo and Genesis. That's what'll be funny about. Nope, before that. That's what'll be fun about going through these magazines and seeing like the early days of the 16-bit consoles. Power of the arcades in the palm of your hands. What is this? Bringing the arcades home. Wow, it's a home arcade. And you can get those today. There's all sorts of different companies that make, not just the one-up that play the one single game, but I like those multi-game arcade cabinets. Those are really cool. Take up a lot of space. You got to be a pretty hardcore gamer in order to give up. Well, you're giving up space for one thing or another. So pick your passion, pick your hobby. I remember seeing that NES cabinet at the Toys R Us and really wanted it. I still want an arcade cabinet for the home, but I got enough humongous things. There's a point where you got to say, my cup runneth over. And I'm perfectly happy with playing my emulator games on like a computer monitor. Now this is an important message right here. Let's take a moment here to... Oops. There we go. Just say no to drugs. What is this about? Mentioning NARC, I just played that the other day, or I saw it. Oh, okay. It's talking about NARC, the old video game NARC. Even the marquee sports the familiar "Say No to Drugs" slogan. Way to go, Williams. Nancy would be proud. Nancy Reagan. She was very... a big proponent against illegal street drugs. Some people hear this phrase and they get up in arms and they try to preach the advantages of drugs, and no, the intention, the meaning behind the sentiment is say no to illegal street drugs that are addictive and harmful to your health. Someone will always nitpick something though. Cinemaware and the Nintendo connection. Let's flip the screen. Anyone remember Robo Warrior by Jalico? How could you not love this? Just from the graphic, the artwork here, action, challenge, depth. That's awesome. I gotta cut this out. I'm gonna cut this out and put it on thumbnails for every video I do on YouTube. Action, challenge, depth. That's amazing. They really knew how to sell the product in the 80s. Okay, we've got some Robo Warrior screenshots here. I remember the ad but never played it. One-man battalion with a human heart and a computer brain. It looks like a video game there. Little Zelda looking. Got the official seal. The U.S. National Video Game Team has endorsed this product in recognition of its superior play. How could you not buy this game when you see stuff like that? It's like basically guaranteeing this is a good game. Holy smokes, I'm really lollygagging here, guys. I'm on page 16 of 69. Sorry, I'm enjoying this way too much. I haven't read this this magazine since '89, probably. So it's really cool to take a trip down memory lane. Got the letters page. Anybody see their name in here? I've talked to a few people on some past streams who said, I had a letter in this comic book, or, you know, something else I was reviewing. Game giveaway and hard driving. It kind of looks like polygon graphics. This would be for the NES, I'm thinking, or maybe it was an arcade game. Atari games, hard. Okay, yeah, it's at the arcade. Sorry, it's right there. Look at that, polygon graphics, breaking, leading edge. Kind of looks like some vehicles Tesla is making these days. Cybertruck. I saw a Cybertruck the other day driving around, and my wife said it looks like an old video game car. Hard driving. That's a cool cabinet. Get to actually sit in it. Miss video games being an ongoing frontier. It seems like it was like that until about 15 years ago. Yeah, I agree. Every year, the new consoles, the new games just kept upping the ante. Look at Metal Gear, and then Metal Gear Solid, and then Metal Gear Solid 2, and then 3, and somewhere along the way it just felt like they peaked and then even started regressing. Gunstar recently got to meet Brian Collin, the creator of Rampage. Well, interesting, because we got Rampage. We're looking at it right here. Rampage and Xenophobe. That was a great game. I remember the Frederick Mall in Kitchener had that one. Just like in the mall. It wasn't an arcade, but that mall used to just have... Remember when malls just had like one game or two games off in a corner that you could go play while mom was shopping? He was so appreciative to meet someone who loves Xenophobe. I love that game too. That was great. Stone Cold. Welcome. Loved EGM and GamePro. Ah, GamePro. That's another great magazine. Hopefully I can remember to take a look at that one too. Tesla Cybertruck. Rampage is a classic. Liked a lot of those Data East. Bad Dudes was great. It was better in the arcade than in the home system. Heavy Barrel, RoboCop. Yeah, they had some great games. Super Hang-On. Okay, Iron Sword. So the game we saw earlier, Wizards and Warriors. Maybe I'm thinking... No, I had Wizards and Warriors, the first one. Iron Sword was the sequel. WrestleMania. Taito Software. Operation Wolf, Sky Shark. Man, this is really cool. I like how they just quickly gloss over a whole bunch of different games. This is fantastic. And it's also interesting that they're like, you'll see an ad for a game and then you'll see them talking about the game. That's pretty cool. So they pique your interest with the ad a few pages back, and then here's Robo Warrior. What do they think of it? First high action entry from Jellicoe. Robo Warrior combines the action elements from hits like Ghosts and Goblins with adventure overtones from The Legend of Zelda. So I thought that looked a little Zelda-y. The meshing of straight action with adventure turns out well, with plenty of gameplay throughout. I guess they're not really rating games in this section. Maybe later on in the magazine. Okay, now we're cooking. Konami / Ultra. Guess they were interchangeable names for Konami. Defender of the Crown. Metal Gear. Metal Gear was amazing. I bought Metal Gear because on the back of the box, it was either the back of the box or I saw an ad in a comic book that showed you all the stuff you could pick up in Metal Gear, and it was just a page full of items. Not just weapons, but items. And I thought, man, I gotta get this game. And I gotta be honest, I remember the first few minutes of playing Metal Gear and hating it. Like, thinking, oh no, what have I done? But then giving it some time, it turned out to be one of the, like, it's on my top 10, easy. It's an amazing game. Love that game. Skate or Die. Turtles. The first Turtles is terrible. Everyone said it. It's very difficult, but they righted the ship with part 2 in the arcade game. Q*bert, one of my favorites from the arcade, the old days. Big fuzzy foul-mouthed thing. Orange thing. Silent Service. In a licensing agreement with Microprose. Man, I haven't heard that name in ages. Microprose. Konami has acquired the rights to this #1 computer game, chart topper. A sea battle game with unparalleled strategy and skill. Silent Service is Konami's first gamble at a true underwater simulation. Interesting. We got over here Track and Field 2. These were always so hard. I remember one of these being just a button masher. You had to really hit the button so fast that you'd hurt your finger to like do a high jump or triple jump or something like that. Bayou Billy. I remember when you popped that one in, you heard the voice, which was rare on a Nintendo game. And the voice said, "The Adventures of Bayou Billy." But it was all distorted because it was like on the NES. So it sounded like it was just almost inaudible. It's still cool though. Oh, there's that game again, Strider. Capcom, California Raisins. Heard it through the grapevine. Mega Man 2, Strider. Flipping the page. Holy smokes, I'm not even half done this magazine. California Raisins, you remember them? Great band. Platoon, Hidden Memories Unlocked. Hey Ty, always liked GamePro growing up, born 89. Their writers assumed fictional characters, cool. Yeah, TMNT was ridiculous. Mindscape. I've been going an hour on this stream and I'm not even half done this magazine. I'm really enjoying this. Maybe I might have to split this into multiple streams because this is rocking and rolling. Mindscape, Trade West, Taboo, SNK, POW. I remember POW. Wow, yeah, a lot of old memories being unlocked here. Planned releases for 89. Wow. How could you not love this magazine? This is amazing. LJN. They didn't just make big rubber wrestling figures. They made video games. Nightmare on Elm Street, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Marvel's X-Men, NFL football. They had all the big licenses, which was a shame. Because they couldn't make a game worth a lick, usually. Godzilla. Zoom out here. Okay, I think maybe we'll get through some of these a little quicker because I'm not going to be reading whole articles. 16-bit Sizzler. We're talking about the 16-bit revolution. Altered Beast for the Mega Drive. Japanese version of the Sega Genesis. Hey, John. EGM can ever forget one of the writers, the mysterious Sushi X. Wow. That's a name I haven't heard in ages. Wow, Sushi X. I remember Sushi X. This was the greatest time for video game magazines. Yeah. Hey, good to see you, Aldry. Hope you're doing well. Blast from the past. Doing great, my friend. Hope you are too. Blessings. First 50 or so issues of Nintendo Power. I'll have to go through some Nintendo Powers too. That was my first magazine subscription. I subscribed to Nintendo Power. So excited to get it in the mailbox every month. Love checking the mail around the end of the month. Yeah, same here. It was exciting for a kid, like a kid with no responsibilities, no bills, nothing like that. Getting a magazine in the mail. It was something else. SNME 25 was cool. My favorite writer for EGM was the enigmatic Sean Baby. Be interesting to find some of these guys. See if they're still around talking about EGM and video games. I remember Show and Jump. Yeah, I think that was my first subscription to free Dragon Warrior game. Hey, good deal. This is a rad stream, dude. Hey, Jake, good to see ya. ZZ Funk, thanks for joining. Yeah, I'm having a blast here. This is a lot more memories being unlocked than I had anticipated. Nintendo Power was my go-to. Yeah, I subscribed to Nintendo Power. I just bought EGM at the grocery store. I don't know why I didn't subscribe to this one. I guess I wanted to flip through it and see if it was one I wanted to own or not. Oh, Saturday night's main event, right. Is Ninja EGM or Game Pro? Having a blast, thank you. Oh, glad to hear it. Nintendo Power gloves in color. Yeah. All right, back to the magazine. Oh, this is cool. A little bit of comparison here. Comparing Tecmo Bowl to John Elway's quarterback. Which one do you think looks better? It's not really good screenshots. It's a different style of play too. One's across the screen, one's up and down. But just based on what we can see here, I would go with Tecmo Bowl, even though the John Elway game has John Elway's official endorsement. Oh wow, they're going in depth here. They're really dissecting. Look at that, they're grading and graphics, sound. So Tecmo Bowl, so like I said, better graphics, but oh, the sound on Elway's quarterback game is terrible. Realism. Oh, they're killing Elway's game here. Computer opponent. Oh, look at that. 2-player mode. Elway's game is better. Usually wasn't a clean sweep when you were comparing two games like that, but it looks like Tecmo Bowl beats Elway on a lot of different categories. So final grade was A- for Tecmo Bowl. Quarterback, John Elway's quarterback, is a C. Better luck next time, John. Oh, we were just talking about this. Xenophobe. Here you go. Wow. No comparison, says Stone Cold. Tecmo Bowl #1. Walter Payton was a beast in Tecmo. Sweetness Walter Payton. Bo Jackson, two-sport superstar, baseball and football. I missed one from Aldry. My mom made me choose between magazines, so I chose Nintendo Power. I also liked Game Pro. Yeah, that was a great one too. Xenophobe, this was a fantastic game. If I'm remembering right, it was like a split screen. So one player played on the top screen. Was it 3? Was it a 3-player game with... It might have been. So it wasn't like both players on the same screen at the same time. You could go into different rooms, different areas in the level, and the other guy would play on a different screen. Like, it's the same screen, but it was split down in the middle of the screen. Platoon. What was Platoon doing as an 80s NES game? That's surprising to see. It's definitely... I mean, at the time, video games were more thought of for kids. So having a game based on Platoon that kids really shouldn't be seeing. It wasn't like Terminator. I mean, there was sorrow. It wasn't just violence, it was sorrow. And, sometimes kids can handle the violent stuff like Terminator or Aliens, but when you get into the real, like, emotional sorrow of war... I'm not sure how you make a game out of that. Blaster Master, we talked about earlier. Spy Hunter. Still waiting for that Spy Hunter movie. Seems like every year they're going to make a Spy Hunter movie. Taxon. What is Taxon? I guess it's a game developer. Some reviews of Taxon games. Brutal, really rad, outrageous. Maybe brutal back then didn't mean what it means now. 1943. Racket Attack. Didn't think about it back then, but yeah, Platoon game seems out of place. And also, there were some other, was like the horror games, like Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th. So, yeah, it happened. Rambo, stuff like that. It happened. It just seems like some of those games that had violence just also had a fun element that kind of diffused the violence, whereas Platoon, there's nothing fun about Platoon. I guess that's how they got away with it in the 80s. RoboCop, extremely brutal, but fun. Rambo, brutal, but fun. Platoon, brutal. The end. Not fun. Bubble Bobble was my favorite rental of all time. That was a fun one. Let's take a closer look at Bubble Bobble for Jay Reed. From Taito. Blow bubbles to battle bad guys. Look how they put the little graphics in here too, alongside the screenshots. Little quotes here summarizing the game. Beyond some visual shortcomings, Bubble Bobble is one of the most entertaining games available for the Nintendo. The gameplay is appealing and the action is definitely non-stop. It is straightforward enough for novices, yet contains enough variety, hidden strategies, and challenge to keep the best of us coming back for more. Bobble Bobble. Bump and Jump. Yeez. Ah, yes. Yeez. Everybody knows how to pronounce this now, because if you pronounce it wise, you're going to have a whole bunch of people jumping on you, correcting you. Actually, it's pronounced Yeez. I did a video not too long ago. It was the Streets of Rage video. Since the guy who did the music for Streets of Rage, I think, worked on the music for this as well. Yeah, he did. So I pronounced it wise, and then I had to go back and re-record that audio because I found out, oh, it's pronounced yeez. There's more than one way to pronounce a thing, but when a series is as big and popular as yeez, you make the extra effort to pronounce it correctly. What is this? Rastan? Rastan. It kind of looks like a turtle, doesn't it? It looks like a ninja turtle. Like Leonardo? Rastan. Cool looking game. Kind of looks like Zelda 2. Link. Adventure of Link. And Phantasy Star advertisement. What is this fox doing? Is he carrying a boomerang in his teeth, or are those his fangs? What is this thing? His paws are wrapped up. It's like a bunny fox. Saber-toothed bunny fox. Weird. Who's this dude? Is he not wearing pants? I guess he's wearing like some little bikini shorts. Throwing a skeleton around. Some interesting artwork here. A flying eyeball. Okay. Phantasy Star. Thunderblade. It kind of looks like a Blue Thunder type of thing. Thanks for the memories. Have a great night. Hey, thanks for joining us, Stone Cold. Appreciate it. And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so. Rostan, best soundtrack ever. And Stephanie says Bubble Bobble was a fun one. It was indeed. Called it Wise for 30 years, probably. Turn-based legend. Rostan was another favorite arcade. I don't know why I didn't know they had a console version. Thunderblade. I wonder if this is Blue Thunder. Is it officially? How can you get away with calling it Thunderblade? Thunderblade. Like, it's clearly Blue Thunder. Huh. You'd think the rights owners of Blue Thunder would have had something to say about that. I mean, they're even using the word thunder. And it's blue. I keep coming back to this. Like, it's so, what's the word? Egregious? Hat trick hockey. The Atari 7800. I was just talking about that earlier. Hell yeah. Wanted Phantasy Star, but it was yeah, I remember how expensive games were, and that's like in the 80s. Like, that's a lot today. Games were just crazy expensive. Maybe they couldn't get the rights and were working around it. Sounds like it. That happened a lot. I mean, Masters of the Universe was because they couldn't get the rights to Conan. So, probably. That's just very bold of them to keep the word thunder in the title. Tetris. Yeah, Atari 7800. Had one. It wasn't great. F-19 stealth fighter for the IBM. Now, these computer games were deceptive because when you saw the screenshots of them, yeah, they blow you away. But I remember playing computer games and thinking choppy. They were so choppy. The frame rate was always so low. And like everyone always had a slow system anyway, so you could never play it at full speed. Now that's an awesome name. Zach McCracken. Zach McCracken. I want to change my name. It doesn't look like I have my name displayed on my Avatar, but Zach McCracken. How do I change this? Show display names. How do I change this? Edit name. I'm changing my name to Zach McCracken. There we go. Oh, Lucasfilm, really? Those were the best games. Now those were great computer games. LucasArts. It's funny, Lucasfilm Games. So that's before they came up with the name LucasArts. Monkey Island was LucasArts. Full Throttle. They had some great ones. Day of the Tentacle, I think, was theirs. What was the house? Something with a house. Maniac Mansion? Great games. Hybris. Man, lots of great memories. Just getting PC games to work was hard. I remember having to create DOS boot disks for everything. Oh man, don't miss those days. DOS. Lucas Games. Bought my first real PC in '93, 486DX. I think I had one of those too. 486DX with a math coprocessor. XCOM never looked so good. Yeah, I think that's what I had. Maybe a 386, but I think it was a 486DX. Turbo power. Scum, that's it. Scum engine. Any game with a Scum engine was fantastic. Full Throttle. They just remastered that some years back. Probably many years ago. Everything to me was a few years ago if it was after 2000. But yeah, there's a remastered version of Full Throttle. It's fantastic. Mark Hamill does a voice in that game as the villain. Maniac Mansion. Hey Jared, good to see you. Hey, retro game content. I can't not listen while I run the pups out. EGM was great. Wish we had them still around. Have a great walk. 486. Double Dragon. Sword of Sodan. Whoa. I remember that one. It's amazing how many of these obscure games I remember. Big art. Like, this magazine is amazing. If you had this magazine, it would take you several hours to go through it. Because it's not just a bunch of pictures with ratings, but like these articles. I wish I had the time to go through these articles right now. I'm going to be going back and reading some of these off the air. Offshore Warrior. Some kind of boat game. And PC Engine. Sega 16-bit Mega Drive. Things to come. Nintendo. Oh, look at the Game Boy. That was a game changer. International Scoreboard. Wow. Get your name in the magazine. Coin-op games. That's cool. Ron Perlman. Different spelling. I don't think it's the actor. Look at that. Get your name in the magazine for your high score. Tom Galt with a high Bubble Bobble score. It's too bad some games like Metal Gear, you couldn't do this. Like, you can't get a high score in Metal Gear. Operation Wolf, Shinobi. I'm looking for fake names here. Like Zach McCracken. Mark Twitty. Frank Say. Pinball machines, cool. I don't think this magazine covered pinball a lot, but you could get your name in here for a pinball score. New York, Marshall, Texas, LA, New York, Arkanoid. Anybody see their name in here? Mega Man, Legendary Wing, Spy Hunter. Wow. A lot of California here. That's interesting. Lots of California for the Nintendo and the Sega. It's the deal with all the California high scores. What's going on here? None from Michigan, my favorite state. Huh. Interesting. Game over. The guns have cooled and the last alien ship has fallen to your lasers. The end is not in sight and more challenges lie ahead. Get yourself prepared for the second wave of Electronic Gaming Monthly. Hyping their own magazine. They did a great job at hyping everything, including themselves. Stories about producing these mags are fun. How hard it was to take pictures comes up a lot. Oh, can you imagine? It's so easy today, but yeah, like with a camera that has to be developed, the film that has to be developed. If there are any other old EGM fans listening in, they had a Kickstarter for a definitive history of the magazine recently. Looks like it's still available for late pledges. And SNK brings you battles, strife, combat, skirmishes. Here's some of those peripherals we saw mentioned earlier. We saw this earlier. I had one of those. It did not work very well. I feel like it broke pretty quickly, even though it had the... Well, I don't know if mine had the official seal, but yeah, I remember getting one of those, and like those little controllers that came with the Nintendo lasted forever. And it was weird that like get a new controller and it just dies very quickly. It was junk. Happens all the time today, but back then things were built to last a lot more often. So I remember my black, I had a black joystick and it just conked out real quick. Wireless, yes. How did they manage that? How many batteries did that take? These weren't rechargeable, you had to put actual batteries in them. Oh, there's a bunch of the other... Oh, we're at the end here. Wow, we got to the end of this pretty quick. I thought I had a ton more to go, and we made it. So there's Retro Mags. Check out retromags.com. Huge thank you to them. Thanks to everyone who's going back and scanning, capturing their old magazines so everyone else can enjoy them too. Well, the ending of this really snuck up on me. Thought I was going to be here for quite some time. It is late, Saturday night, late for me. But that was a ton of fun. Lots of old memories unlocked, and really enjoyed going through the live chat today and hearing some of your memories too, jogging some of my memories. Beautiful. I think we're going to have to do EGM issue number 2 very soon. That was fun, thanks. So thank you for joining. I think what we'll really lose is stuff like the pack-in CD-ROM content. Those were great. To be able to load, like, a lot of the time the demo was good enough for me. I didn't even need the full game. Just playing the demo that came with some of these magazines was good enough. Jake, thanks for joining. Take care. Hope someone gets those digitized. Stephanie, thanks for joining. So fun. Hope you have a wonderful weekend. Thank you. You as well. Yeah, this has been awesome. Great magazine, great company. Thanks for joining me in the live chat. Bumping, jumping. I'm going to go get some sleep. Leroy Jenkins. White Bat Audio Music. Love that guy. This has been awesome music to go through this with. All right, I'm going to get some shut-eye, and I'll be back hopefully soon to take a look at issue number 2 and maybe Game Pro as well. Sleep. Jared is not familiar with the concept these days, thanks to something very important. All right, folks. Thanks so much for joining this live stream. Good night. Good night, Stephanie. Good night, everybody. Jake and there's quite a few people in the chat. I usually go through the chat and thank everyone I saw here. Mr. Quake is the king of the live chat today. Audie was in here too. And Gene, sorry, I can't pronounce that. Micah, we saw him earlier. Good to see you too. Lots of familiar faces. Elzilla. Bill was here. L.E. saw him earlier. Gunstar joined us too. Patreon Tribe representing. And I should mention too, since some Patreon Tribe members joined earlier, if you are so inclined, if you'd like to support the channel, check out patreon.com/MichaelMercy. This is we're at over 200 Patreon exclusive videos. Those are a thank you to the people who support the channel. So right now on the channel, I take a peek and see what I got going on the channel. I think I've got, is it 800? 941 videos apparently. 941 free videos on my channel. 941 free videos. But for the people who support the channel, there's over 200 Patreon exclusives. So, yeah, it's not a case of the Patreon exclusives are a thanks to the people who support the channel. I just have the feeling that 941, for the people who whine about, oh, I want to see the Patreon videos too, you got 900 free videos, and if that's not good enough for you, nothing ever will be. So much appreciation to everyone who supports the channel on Patreon. I love doing the exclusive videos on there too. They're a lot of the time they're very obscure, but they're little passion projects, and I really enjoy just doing them and sharing them with the Patreon folks. Someone always does, LP, don't worry. Every time I end a stream, people are always jumping in late, but luckily you can just catch the replay. Hope you enjoy that. Ryan, hello there. I've been searching for that one for a reasonable price on eBay for a while, trying to get a solid 89 and 95 run. Look at this, beautiful. Concord, hello, quick question. Will you be at JoeCon? I will not be able to make it, unfortunately, at JoeCon. I've got some important family things to take care of, so I can't be away from home for that long. But once again, I will be there in spirit, just like I was there last year. Some of my buddies are going to be there. You might even see a tribe t-shirt on the floor there from one of the good brothers. We're part of the tribe. So yeah, everyone's going to have a fantastic time. Joe It's Joe Fest. Joe Con? Yeah, it's actually called Joe Fest. Joe Fest, I'm just looking it up here, runs... What are the dates on Joe Fest? It's in Augusta, Georgia, June 20th to 22nd. Run by a fantastic person. Always looks like a fun event. And I'm going to sleep. So thanks again, everyone. Appreciate you. And until next time, where is my Nerd Mistake graphic? There it is. Boom. Nerd Mistake. See you later.